Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are back, or where we are still in Jactral and the Wild West area, and we're dealing with a corrupt deputy. I'm grateful he could take us to the deputy chief, but it will all be for naught if he's seen. Good, we're here. This is where he hides his loot. I expect he'll show up soon. Well, look who it is. Storing stolen goods here seems risky, but I suppose it's an option for someone with his authority. Yeah, he moves the spoils in cerulean barrels, where no one would think to look. They're mixed in with regular shipments of fuel to Tuliolal, where they're sold off. You said he stole a bracelet of yours, right? If he knows you're on his tail, chances are he'll be eager to get what he can for it. But I doubt he'd trust a lackey with that business given the provenance of a piece. Now I wager he's not letting that bracelet out of his sight till he got the coin in hand. I wasn't sure what to make of you after XIV, but I'm glad to see you're more than an impulsive child. Well, not my finest hour, I admit. But there's a lesson in that. The Vulture's a slippery bastard. If we're going to catch him, we need to back him into a corner with hard evidence. That's my plan. First, we need to lure him away from here. Over to XIV would be ideal. For that, I need one of you to help me. It's about time for the other to search the barrels for any stolen goods. And using that, we'll expose him as a criminal. There's no way to tell if Vulture's carrying the bracelet, but regardless, there'll be time enough to find it once he's behind bars. But won't he simply feign ignorance? Oh, he'll try, and that's when I challenge him to a duel. A duel? That approach didn't work out so well for your friends, as I recall. True, but unlike before, I challenged him in front of a whole town. That way, he won't be able to wiggle out of it like before. Every man, woman, and child of the wilds understands the importance of duels and the old laws. The deputy chief would never disgrace himself by refusing. But wouldn't you be breaking the law by using a firearm in town? It's not as if we'd be using live rounds, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. What's important is that I get him to duel with as many witnesses as possible. When he loses, and he will lose, that'll be the end of a Vulture. The plan is not without flaws, but what do you think? I say let Zekowa have his duel. Thanks. I sure was lucky running into the two of you. You won't regret it, I promise. If you're satisfied, then so am I. I knew I could count on you. I was seen in Tonatem Yavi. It was probably best I stay and search for barrels. Then you're with me. Tell the Vulture I tried to rob you, but you managed to overpower me. Even if he suspects a trap, he won't be able to resist taking the bait. You want to buy your friend as much time as possible and make your way to XIV. Once you've got the Vulture there, I'll take care of the rest. Alright then, let's get to it. They say they're likely what Shitona's doing. What's his angle? And where's that brat? It's past time I dealt with him. Vulture is oblivious to your presence. Perhaps a gentle poke will get his attention? Poke? Ah, what is it? Oh, an unfamiliar face in these parts. Have you need of a Dustwatch, miss? What? Zekowa tried to rob you, but you apprehended him? I see. So desperate was he to see his friends free from prison. He turned to a life of crime. How awful. You have my sincerest thanks, miss. Might I trouble you to take me to him? Vulture is now accompanying you. Not that this is an appropriate time for me to play a tour guide, but if you insist, Nevesi Springs is home to a thriving cerulean mining industry. The prospect of easy coin has attracted some undesirables, though. Chill out, my dudes. Is this a place? I don't see him. Little further. I see. Very well. Lead on. There's gold in these fields. Blue gold. Best be wary of a beast in these parts. They may prefer to snack on ceruleum, but for you, I reckon they'd make an exception. Is this the place then? I could have sworn I've left him here. But some sort of joke of other. Let's keep moving. This better be the place. Ah, now I remember. My patience is wearing awfully thin, miss. If he isn't in the next place we stop, I may be forced to do something you and I would both dearly regret. Unless you'd rather I feed you one raw of needles and all, cut the shit shut. Yeah, he gets getting impatient. Alright, where is he? I don't see him anywhere. Where is Zekowa? Tell me where he is or I bury you in the same grave. Confound it, he must have escaped. That's it, I've had it with these games and I've had it with you. Hey, Vulture. You looking for me? If you want to place me under arrest, you have to work a little harder. You'll be begging for a cell by the time I'm done with you.
Wahoote! Finally caught up to me, I see.
Well, well, if it isn't our young outlaw. You've taken up stealing, I'm told. Can't say I'm surprised about that, but I am surprised that you'd offer yourself up to be arrested.
Sorry to disappoint, but you're the one who's going to answer for their crimes today.
Hey! That's my jewelry!
And my bag! So you found the stolen goods. That's fine work.
This barrel was at Shisenowetsi Springs, mixed in with others bound for Tuliyola. The Landsguard would have presumed it part of the regular ceruleum shipments and waved it through. And once it reached its destination, it would have been retrieved, and its contents sold for coin.
The audacity. Do we know who's behind this?
As fortune would have it, I spied the leader of this operation being handed one of the stolen items. A bracelet, which Vau Wuklamat had intended for her nursemaid, Namika.
It was from the Vow of Resolve?
Oh, you've seen it then?
No, no, never. And if I knew who had it, I would have arrested the scoundrel.
Oh, come off it. I saw you with a bracelet.
What's the meaning of this, Wahoote?
It's a setup, sir. I have the bracelet, yes, but I only 'cause I found it. I swear. They're the real criminals. They concocted this scheme to frame me, so they could get me out of the picture.
If you feel your honor's at stake, there's always the old-fashioned way. The law which folks have used to settle their differences for generations.
You don't mean...
Wahute, I challenge you to a duel. The winner is right, the loser is wrong. Doesn't get simpler than that.
Yeah, have at it!
Let your pistols do the talking!
Please, do you honestly believe you can goad me into playing your game?
You refuse then? Huh. A baby alpaca's got more fight than you.
All right, boy. But remember, you asked for this.
Come on, Zekowa! Give him what for!
Shouldn't we stop him, Chief? Even if it's just rubber bullets, we're in the middle of town.
Be quiet. Just watch.
Oh, you little shit!
Clear as day.
Looks like you've gotten slow in your old age, Vulture.
You and I are going to have a long talk.
I apologize for dueling in the middle of town. If you want to lock me up, then lock me up. But please, let my friends go. They've done nothing wrong.
You drew your gun within town limits. But Wahute drew first. Far as I'm concerned, you acted in self-defense. You're free to go. As are your friends.
Ha! You're not such a bad guy after all!
Just a man of the wilds, like you. But to think that Wahute had taken control of the Daybreakers, it pains me that it happened right under my nose.
What are you gonna do about his crew? Some of them are still in Tonatenui.
Those who have broken the law will be taken into custody. But those who haven't will be given the chance to resume walking the straight and narrow. What about you, Zekowa? What do you intend to do now?
Why, what I've always done. Protect the weak and help the helpless. The old-fashioned way.
Here, this was Vawuklamat's gift for someone, wasn't it?
Yes, a person very dear to her.
I suppose this is where we go our separate ways. My thanks again for your help apprehending the Vulture.
That was a pretty nice shot, right? Event ended up being rather more complicated than expected, but also it ends well. Ah, finally it's over. I couldn't have brought him to justice without your help. I don't know how I'll ever repay you. Now that we have a bracelet, let us return to Shichenevezi Springs. Will you be staying there long? I'd like to give you a proper thanks after I find my friends. We weren't planning on it, but there's no need to rush. We'll see you at the springs then. They were understandably worried, but I've told them of what happened in XIV. Our minor adventure made for quite a tale. Welcome back. I'm glad to hear those bandits got what they deserved. My bracelet. Thank you so much. It's more than just a gift, it's a part of me I could never hope to replace. Truly, Wuklamat is blessed to have such devoted friends. Well, I wouldn't put it quite that way. I prefer to think of us more as long-standing acquaintances. Regardless how you choose to describe it, there's no denying the depth of your bond, though I'm sure you'll continue to do so. Can't say I'm surprised the deputy chief turned out to be the bandits' leader. I always knew something wasn't right about him. An easy claim to make with a gift of hindsight. There you are, the real Daybreakers have arrived. I'd like you to meet my two best friends, Krikana and Levine. If it wasn't for you believing in Zekowa and doing what you did, we'd still be locked up. You have no idea how satisfying it was to see that bastard Vulture put behind bars. I never gave up hope that Zekowa would find a way to get us out. He also was the best of the Daybreakers. Glad he was able to convince you to go along with his plan. Unfortunately, our group is smaller now and lacking in strength besides. Some outlaws might see us as an easy target. Even so, if anyone should give a Dustwatch a slip, the Daybreakers will be there. We train night and day, so no one will get the better of us ever again, isn't that right? Right. And you'll teach us how you draw that pistol so fast, won't you? Well, we won't need a duel if all goes as it should. But on the off chance it doesn't, we'd best make sure everyone can match and beat my speed. We owe you a great debt, and one of these days, I'll be sure to repay it. On that, you have my word. Until we meet again. If you excuse me, I shall find a quiet place to rest. As I'll be here a while yet, though, do let me know if there's any way I can be of assistance. We're not planning to take the train home? Oh, train service has been suspended, didn't I tell you? You mentioned no such thing. Something about the tracks being damaged in the last quake? The tunnel was closed as well. An earthquake? It must have happened when we were still down south. There have been quite a few tremors of late. A rather large one struck not long before you two arrived. I can only hope no one was hurt. At any rate, if you want to know when service will resume, you could speak with the station master yourself. Let's do that. The station is just over there. I'd like to believe a train will be up and running again soon. It will never be that easy. It seems people aren't too happy about the train delays. Understandable.
I'm so sorry, but we're not sure when the train will be running again.
You've got to be joking. Of all the places to get stuck at on the way.
Please don't tell me you've come to complain too.
We heard that the earthquake had caused disruptions and wanted to ask when operations would resume. But I see that it will be a while yet.
I'm afraid so. Too few hands for too much work. It's time-consuming enough to inspect the tracks after every quake, but this last one we got after the succession ceremony was massive. Made a mess of a whole bunch of railroad ties.
The succession ceremony? We would have been in Tuliolal at the time. If it was as violent as you say, we should have felt it as well.
I have to admit, it was a touch strange, having seen my fair share of tremors. If I had to describe it, it felt more like the rumbling from an explosion.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Seriously? You're offering to help?
What about you, my friend? If you'd rather strike out on your own, I understand.
Though, if you were willing to lend us a hand too, we'd be truly tremendously grateful.
Sure?
Thank you! Thank you so much! I'm Shenza, by the way. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
That desperation in his voice.
If you would please step inside, I can introduce you to everyone.
Sorry for dragging you into this.
No problem.
There they are.
They look like the railway guys from Amarang who lost the trolley.
That's them, the two volunteers. Walika is our station master, and over there is our top driver, Nitoikwe. And this grizzled mug is Zopia, an engineer who joined around the same time as me.
Much obliged for the help. I'll make it worth your while, I promise.
Yeah.
Something the matter?
Would you happen to be a fan of trolleys?
Trolleys? They're fine, I suppose, but they're no match for our ceruleum-powered engine.
She's absolutely glorious, let me tell you. If you'd like to bask in her beauty, well, you should visit the depot behind the platform.
Right then. What I'd like you two to do is help us procure timber. We'll be using it to fashion new railroad ties, so it needs to be the strongest stuff we can get. In these parts, that means the trees in the Piata-Yonan Plain. It is Hetsaro territory, though, so we need to get their permission first.
Piari-Yoyan... Okay.
Come on, no time to waste.
Right, we got work to be getting on with ourselves. Though no small number live in Shawani, must confess I've never visited the home of a Hetsaro. As they largely live in accordance with older traditions, I suspect they may have a dim view of the railroads. Level up. Come, let's follow Vavlika. There's another station on the way, so be sure to drop in. The train will be in the depot, but you can still see it from outside. I'm quite taken with the sleek design of the head and myself. But if you peek through the windows, you can probably catch a glimpse of... Enough jabbering, Shensa. Thanks to these two, we have finally some real work to do, so let's get to it. We'll see you later. I suppose there's no harm in stopping at the station. It's on the way after all. I must confess, the train is an impressive sight. How easy it must be to ship goods through the worlds now. Right. Mevatson should be to the northeast of here. Let's continue on. Such beauty. I know more than a few gleaners who would love to explore this land. Ah, there you are. The village is just up ahead. Truth be told, I've never had direct dealings with the people of Mevatson, but I know that the traditions mean a great deal to them, so does the land. At least we have an Aetherite. Ah, such lovely clean air. It feels like a treat after we overpower the ceruleum of the Shenezevi Springs. The water nearby is just as pristine. It's a paradise for people and animals both. I'm glad you appreciate the blessings of nature as we do. Greetings, travelers, and welcome. I'm Erato, chief of Mevatson, and this is my son, Shepeto. A pleasure to meet you. I thank you for the warm welcome and apologize for a sudden intrusion. I'm Vavlika, station master of Jactural Whaling. The recent earthquakes have damaged our tracks and require timber to make repairs. Mrs. Desiree and Aaron will have volunteered to assist us with the restoration effort. Hello. You have the most curious air about you. Of oil and steel, tanned leather, and the faintest hint of pine? But not the Turali sort. I gather you're not from these lands? I'm a traveler of a star. Truly, I would love to know more about you and the lands you've seen. We can do that. I'm told your people hold your traditions in the highest. Yet I gather you are curious about those of others as well? But of course, nature is boundless, as is our love for our lands and our children. The Hetzo in particular have done much to guide our way of life. We're to hunt together, to lay our heads. The Hetzo teach us all these things and more. It's for that reason, I believe, that we are attuned to the shifting winds around us. I see, the word Hetzo. It means leader of souls in the Hetzaro tongue, does it not? It does. There are many creatures revered as Hetzo among the Hetzaro. Here, we look to Veronic for guidance. However, as you may have gleaned from our use of Aetherites, while we are committed to our traditions, this does not mean we reject all outside influence. That said, there are certain things that give us pause. Such as? We will furnish you with the timber you require, but first, as neighbors in this land, we ask that you indulge us in a discussion. We'd be glad to, of course. Wonderful. We don't often receive guests come such a long way, and my son is always so delighted to hear their tales. Now, if you follow me. The tent is made of the hide and bones of Veronic. I wonder what else they are used for here. If I follow Veronic for the season, it makes sense that it would live in tents that can be broken down and transported easily. Say, do you like to hunt? And what weapons do you like to use? I will speak frankly. We fear the winds of change will soon bring misfortune to the land. The Veronic have made the potential for danger plain. As you may have heard, the temperament has become erratic of late. A stableman near Husatavi mentioned that. Do you know what has caused this? We have our suspicions. Since others were drawn to this land by ceruleum, Shaolani has undergone a transformation. And the railroad are a part of that. As strong and resilient as they may seem, Veronic are sensitive creatures. The war of the trains that thunders through the plains may cause them distress. As my father said, we do not unnecessarily reject outright influence or innovation, but in this, we can't help but worry. Understandably, I thank you for being forthright. This matter concerns not only the Hetzaro, but all of Shaolani. Perhaps you should bring it to the attention of Vulture? Vulture, you say? We know him only through rumors, but he is apparently, how shall I put this? Hard-hearted and aloof. He values technological advancement and efficiency to the detriment of all else. Mind the tongue, Geppetto. While there's a grain of truth to the rumor, he's not nearly as bad as they make him out to be. His journeys have changed him for the better. So in the course of traveling with him, you witnessed him change with your own eyes? As we fought beside Vulture in the Rite of Succession, I take a word over rumors. You took part in the Rite of Succession? You're that close to the Dawn Servants? I was grateful for any help, but had no idea I'd recruited a bona fide hero. Hey. The succession of Dawn Servants filled us with uncertainty for the future, but there's clearly much we do not know. On this particular occasion, the winds of change are not meant to be feared. No, we must open our hearts and minds so we might see Vulture for who he truly is. Do you think he might visit someday? Just as his father offered us guidance, I'm hopeful that he will do the same. Thank you for hearing and allaying our concerns. I'm glad we could speak. As for your timber, we have freshly cut logs near the lake. Please, take all that you require. We are terribly grateful. I promise we'll keep the Ronick foremost in our mind as we continue working on the railroad, and if need be, we seek Vulture's counsel. My thanks again for your time and for timber. We shall endeavor to return the favor. I hope to see you again. We must talk again soon. Next time perhaps on a hunt together. You come back, won't you? There's so much I'd like to know about the lands beyond Tyrell. We have to carry all this back to the station? We have more than enough timber to fix the ties. Now we need to transport it to the station, which will be a bit more involved than I thought. I didn't expect we'd be given so much. Mind waiting here a spell while I round up a few more hands in the Ronick? I won't be long. I'm glad that went well, and thankfully it seems we won't need to make several trips for the timber. And the land would tremble. While we wait, we could get started moving the timber somewhere more accessible. It shouldn't take long if we split the work. Deliver the crate to the main road. Still into a tune, right? Yep. I think I would look seeing someone carrying a box like this. And a bit scared they just drop it. Because this is not a safe grip. I should think this will be enough. That's mighty kind of you to move all that lumber. Sorry didn't make it back sooner. We see to the rest. Once we repair the tracks, we'll have you on the first train out of town. Ain't that right, Chief? As much as I'd love to make it so, there ain't any spots available. You have to wait for one after, I'm afraid. But you'll be riding free of charge. It's the least we can do to repay your kindness. That's fine, Nabika and no few others were here long before we arrived. It's only right they go before us. I hope you stop by and see the train off. It's a breathtaking sight, let me tell you. Anita Vicchia will be driving. No engineer compares to her, and it's always a treat to watch her work. The only work we should be worried about is our own Shenza, and we have still more to do. I'll find somewhere quiet near the station to pass the time. If there's anything else in Shaolani you're keen to see, I'll leave you to it. We end the rest of the work from here. You just sit tight. My thanks again for your timely assistance. Won't be long now before the tracks are fixed and you're on your way. Then we go to have a train running again. I missed the sound of her barreling down the tracks. Okay. First things, attuning to the Everite. This would be a great point to the side quests, you know? But no, I won't do that now. Separate episodes and all that. Had you full of the sights? Well, they appear to have almost finished. Several cutscenes will play in sequence. No. Okay, if that's the case, then I probably end the episode here. Because I don't know how long this is, and I don't want to do too much longer. Maybe 5 minutes, but I don't know how long it is, as I said. Good. When I say until next time, I'm Mace, and don't get lost.